You're reading this one out, Dara. You have to read it out in the voice.
I did it for The Rock.
I did it for The Rock.
So, for anyone that doesn't know, Stone Cold Steve Austin was run over on Survivor Series 1999 before his triple threat match, and it was really to write him out because he had to get neck surgery. And this was a whole story back and forward, and everybody knew it was Triple H, but it turns out that they're like, no, actually, it was Rikishi.
That's so wrestling. It's like, oh, this guy needs neck surgery. We need to write him off somehow so he doesn't get injured. I know. Hit him with a car.
Again, something you don't really see nowadays, but was of its time, thankfully. But yeah, so obviously this was the big heel turn for Rikishi. Rikishi was a big face with Too Cool. And we got the infamous Bad Man theme music, which I've been humming because it's in my head now and I can't get rid of it. But this was not good. It would give us the Armageddon Hell in a Cell, 6-man Hell in a Cell, which had the big moment with Taker chokeslamming Rikishi onto a really, when you think about it, weird truck
that's suspiciously loaded with sawdust.
Exactly. It was, not a great angle.
Where was that truck going when Undertaker hijacked it?
And also, why was it near the arena?
Maybe there was a Henry O'Godwin match coming up, and it was sawdust for the pigsty.
It was just late. They're like, "Oh, we need this."
Oh no, maybe Pearl Henry O'Godwin just got released that morning, and they're like, gotta cancel the pigsty match.
Hold on, I have an idea. We'll write this in here. So look, this would eventually break down where it turns out Triple H was involved and he hired Rikishi, and it was convoluted. It wasn't very good. But
what was your reaction as a young fella watching this at the time, and it turned out everybody's talking about who ran over Stone Cold, who did it, who's all the suspects? What was your reaction when the big reveal was Rikishi?
Really? It was like, why? It doesn't make any sense. He's like, oh, he's my cousin. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. It was silly then. It's silly now. But at the time, WCW was being incredibly silly. So it didn't really hit the same way. It was 2000. So 2000 was a wild period anyway. And the shows were so good. And it didn't really matter. But it is...
Which would you have preferred? Rikishi or the other big Deus Ex Machina WWE used to use at the time, Hornswoggle?
No, Hornswoggle this was years before Hornswoggle. This was 6 years before that.
Oh yeah, but the Hornswoggle was kind of the gay for a couple of years that they pulled out whenever they were like, oh man, we've written ourselves into a corner here. We don't know where this is going. Just do Hornswoggle.
Well, I don't know. They're both equally as silly. I think with Hornswoggle, if he had have been there, he was that kind of agent of chaos. So you're like, okay, maybe he just did it for the laugh. But doing it for The Rock, and cutting that promo, it was like, The Rock didn't need your help. He was a multi-time world champion at this point. It's like he didn't need
he'd beaten him at WrestleMania.
Well, in 1999 he didn't beat Austin.
Oh, this is 99. Okay.
So to break this feud down, right? So it was Survivor Series 1999. The Rock wasn't even really in the title picture at that point. He had lost it was Austin and Triple H were feuding. The Rock might have been at the triple threat there. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. But The Rock was established. That's the point I'm getting at. And basically, he wanted to remove Austin so The Rock and Triple H could feud. That was his reasoning. And then it would turn out that Triple H actually paid him to take out Austin so he could take out The Rock.
The scallywag.
Yeah. And I think if he had just been like, look, Austin is going away, that's fine. Because you know what? Earlier on in that year, Undertaker just walked out and he never mentioned him again until Judgment Day. It was like, that's a much weirder thing to do than Austin's actually injured because of Owen Hart. He needs to go off and get surgery,
But it's like it's so one weird. Of those strange things.
Sorry, 1 second. When Rikishi when it was revealed that Rikishi had done it, Austin came back and it was the most underwhelming thing in the world. I do remember that. I remember it being, the glass broke.
You didn't want to see him come back and beat up Rikishi.
Rikishi. Yeah, that was it. It was so underwhelming. And I think they knew it. Like, to be fair to WWE, they knew it almost immediately. And that's why they swapped back to just like, it's Triple H. It's absolutely Triple H. And then they'd have their blood feud going into WrestleMania, which would then set up a match with The Rock.
This is something wrestling, like, loads of companies, all companies do this at some stage, where they over kayfabe stuff. So like the thing with Owen Hart, that's perfect. Like, that's a perfectly good story on its own. Broke the dude's neck, and like you don't need to write stories around that. But for some reason, wrestling companies always feel the need to kind of overwrite these things.
Well, look, number 9 in the best is The Rock usurping Farouk as the leader of the Nation of Domination. Now, this is a little bit outside of our timeline because we haven't got there yet, just like the one above it. But this was a big moment. The Rock,
sensational,
became The Rock really at this point, and then it would lead into him becoming an instrumental member of the corporation. So without this, you wouldn't have The Rock. So I agree there 100%.
This is a wee bit like one of those. It's a wee bit like the Austin 316 moment. Like, in hindsight, people think, oh, he did Austin 316 and then the next day he was a superstar. In hindsight, people think, oh yeah, The Rock did the Nation of Domination thing and then the next week he was a superstar. It wasn't that quick, but this is the pivotal moment. This is like the tipping point.
Absolutely. The worst moment here, number 8, the Legion of Doom rebooting as LOD 2000.
Oh.
Now, I do remember this. It was not good. It really wasn't. We've kind of touched on it a little bit in our timeline with the LOD hawk alcoholism thing.
Oh, yeah.
This was not good. But WWE would do this a lot at the time. They'd bring back a tag team as the new something. The new Midnight Express.
Well, at least the
new Rockers. You know, it was never good.
I'm not going to put LOD 2000 over, but at least they recognized that there's kind of an unwritten rule in wrestling that the minute you're the new something, it doesn't work. Yeah. Like you say, new Rockers, new Blackjacks were another one that flopped. So at least instead of calling them new LOD, they did that thing that everyone was obsessed with coming up to the millennium. Calling Everton 2000, LOD 2000, with WrestleMania 2000. You know.
Yeah, and you would have Sonny as the manager, which I mean was an inspired choice, but still, it just failed instantly. What didn't fail instantly